How's it going, you guys? It's Scott with Everyday Solar, and I'm kicking off a DIY installation of a roof-mounted and grid-tied 4.8 kilowatt solar array. Now, believe it or not, this actually can be a DIY project, even though most homeowners are going to lean towards a professionally installed solution. But I do have a little bit of help that I'll tell you later, which will help you with the permitting, getting approved by your utility, and just overall the design of your system, so you're not taking everything on for the first time. Specifically today, I want to show you how to consistently hit the middle of your rafters or trusses when we're mounting our anchor points. Now I'll be using the Iron Ridge FlashFoot2, which is an awesome system. It gives you your flashing to give you that water resistance. You have your large lag bolt, and that's what's going to go through. We need to make sure this is not just going in the decking, that it's actually securing to your truss or your rafter, giving it the strength we need. Once that's attached, then you just put that foot on there, and it can either be in the vertical direction or horizontal, depending on your design. The biggest thing for most DIYers, because you might be doing this for the first time, is how are you on the top of the roof and you're gonna locate exactly where that truss is so you make sure that lag bolt gets securely mounted. It can be a little tricky, and let me show you a few options for this first mounting I'm putting on the roof. So first step, we just need to understand our layout. I have the corner here marked, which is 36" from the edge here and 36" from the ridge. That's going to give me my fire lane that's usually called out by your local code. Now from this corner, that's the panel corner, so I use a red lumber crayon to mark the panel corner, but I know my first rail is going to be about 7 inches down from that edge, and then also about 6 or 7 inches over. So what I want to do is just measure that off here. And I'm just gonna make some small marks roughly where I want to be. I'm not making my final location for this first foot because I just wanna roughly mark it in. So really about here. Now again, I can't just sink the lag right here and put the flashing in place because I don't know if I have an actual rafter here. So now we need to find where is the rafter located close to this position. And usually your rafters, get in your attic and check, but there should be center to center 24 inches, so 24-inch spacing. Now believe it or not, just stepping on your roof, you can see the flex where you're just stepping on decking. I think somebody called this like the solar two-step or something, where you're kind of dancing around on your roof and you're trying to find where there is no or less flex. So here I have quite a bit of flex in my decking, so I know that doesn't have a member. Man, this is pretty secure. And then I start to flex again. So I know in this area, I should have a structural member. So I'm just gonna roughly mark that area. Now this is gonna not be very precise. And remember, we only have 1.5 inches to hit, so we need to be more precise than that. So the next method, and here's our mark, is just using a rubber mallet. Some people use a hammer. You're just hearing the sound as you lightly tap the roof. Okay, so this is more hollow over here. Man, pretty close to that spot. And then I go back to hollow. So again, I think we are pretty much right in this area. So it's up to you at this stage if you're comfortable enough to hit your pilot bit, a 3/16 drill bit, drill in to see if you're actually hitting that rafter. If you're just punching right through, nope, that's decking and you are a little bit off. Other people might use a construction screw, drive that in, and again, make sure that it's actually drilling in and tightening down well past the 1/2 inch decking. This would punch right through your decking, and then if you're using an impact driver, you would not hear the ratcheting action. I'll show you another method, but also make sure you understand your anchor points, right? I want this to be right in the middle of a course if I can on my roof. Because what the flashing does, and the best use case of the flashing, is for the first course to be exposed, go under the second course, and actually have some of the flashing going up under the third course. That is how you want to install this flashing. So we'll need to use a flat bar to peel up these courses and make sure we don't have any nails. So I'm going to use this flat bar and peel these up. I'll also show you a way to 100% get the center of that rafter every time if you have a little tool that will help you out. Now, if you guys are looking to do a DIY install yourself or just want to weigh out the options, I use Project Solar. You'll see a link in the description exactly where I went and started the process, giving a little information on my utility bill, what kind of roof I had, and then my email address. And then I could get a dashboard quickly showing the size of system and some rough pricing to get a ballpark on what that size of system would cost me. If you're like me and you've never really done a roof mounted and especially grid tied system, this can really help lower that learning curve and make sure you get across the finish line with a successful project. So let's go ahead and pull up those shingles and get that flashing installed. So at this time I could do the pilot hole with the 3/16 of an inch drill bit. I'll go ahead and just start that. But remember, we're about 95% confident we're good to go. So how do you get to 100% confidence? Well, you could go into the attic and you could drill on the one side, leaving your drill bit popping up to know, okay, that is the edge. I have 1.5 inches for that rafter. Or you could use this little tool from Chip Tools that I got off Amazon. You'll see a link in the description. And what this is, it allows you to drill a pilot hole offset from your rafter and then place it in and rotate to hit the rafter and get a reference on the top of your decking on the middle point. So let's do that right now, and then we'll compare it to where we thought the middle point was. Okay, so I punched through and I did not hit my rafter. So now I sunk this inside and I'm just going to rotate it and I start to hit. So I start to hit the edge of that rafter. So what you want to do now is the wire is actually in the midpoint, and independent on your rotation angle, this gives you 3/4 of an inch offset. So this is going to be right in the middle here. Now I could reverse it down here and do the same thing. And I was pretty much right on. So I don't use this every time, but it's nice to have with me. So if I do miss one of these 53 anchor points I'm putting in, I can use this and correct my location, making sure I'm right in the middle. I also like to do this right on the first one, which pretty much was right where we were marking there, because now I know I'm in the middle and I'm going to use this as a reference point. Now I do that by actually, instead of pre-drilling, I'll just set this screw in place. Then I'll use that as an anchor point for my tape measure, measuring the overall length. And then don't forget, also put your other anchor locations. This is a great time to do that. Then use chalk line and snap a line all the way on that first rail. So we'll go ahead and finish that pilot hole. And then before we put the flashing on, let's go ahead and put some Henry's caulk here in the holes that we made. Now some people would do, let's say, like a horseshoe around those holes. So when the rain's coming down, you have kind of a bead that makes a little bit of a dam as the water comes down. Iron Ridge does not call that out on the design, so you don't have to do that. But if you wanted to, it's not going to hurt anything. We'll get everything lined up, and we'll go ahead and drive our lag. And then place our foot on. If it is 90 degrees off of what you want it, no problem, just go ahead and revert it there, and then you'll be able to click it into the place where I'll have my rail horizontally coming across. So we now have a successful start to our DIY install of the 4.8 kilowatt solar array. Now I got a ton more work ahead of me, but I'm going to document that whole process and my experience with the company Project Solar, which I'm using to facilitate this DIY install. So you can check out this video right here. It will walk start to finish with the entire process and show you at the end the final results of what I'm producing on this home. So thanks for joining me on this video, and we'll catch you on that next one. Take care.